They're flying everywheres. Hi, everyone. I am so excited to be here. Come and say hi. Let me know if you're catching it live or you're catching it on replay. Hope everybody had a wonderful Easter weekend. It's been 2 weeks since I have been here, so I was looking forward to it all day, not gonna lie. Routine, right? I absolutely love getting on here every week to chat and connect with you. Life has been lifing, but I'm so excited to be here with you today. Happy Easter, Stephanie. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody's having a lovely weekend. Giving the deck a nice shuffle there. Hi, Sharon, and hi, Darlene. The sun is shining. Absolutely love it. Becky got along wonderfully in her surgery last week. She is such a trooper. Like, I'm telling you, one, she's super determined and such a brave, strong little girl. But, like, also, it amazes me the healing power of a child. Right? I'm like, oh my God, she's not even taking a Tylenol. Like, she's doing so good. She's doing so good. And also, just like on a note, for those who are tuning in and that may not know everything with Becky, she was born with a complicated club foot and a leg length difference. And so there has been some failed attempts to correct the foot. And then there was the waiting until she turned 9 to be able to then correct the leg length and then the foot deformity. And so we're in it's 3 surgeries within 12 months. And we already have 2 down. Oh, rocking it. She is rocking it. And she's just so wonderful. It blows my mind, to be honest. It blows my mind, to be honest, how well that she's doing. And I was just reflecting on the difference of the situations and difference of the experiences. And in September, she had the femur surgery, and it was extremely stressful. Like, it was a lot. It was not easy and very challenging for both of us. As you know, when your child is hurting, you are hurting. And I remember just being like, probably the most stressed I've ever been in my life, and felt like, scarcity, like there's not enough. I don't know what to expect. So my anxiety loves to over prepare. Like, that's how I regulate that. And then going into this experience, it was like, I just feel like she's going to rock it. I just feel like this is going to be a different experience. Even we were going up, I'm like, I think we're going to get out a day early. And it just felt so light, even though, very challenging because it was a complete reconstruction of the foot and the lower shin. It was still this kind of lightness to it. And as I kind of sat with that, I thought, isn't that so 2024, 2025? Right? When you think about it, of like even the experiences and kind of preparations and processing of the experience, that, oh, thank you, Carrie, that 2024 was like scarcity and fear and anxiety, and kind of going into this situation, it's light and it's like, you know what, this is going to suck, but it's going to be fine. And I just feel like that, for me at least, and I hope that it resonates with you, is that it just validates that the tides have changed. It just validates that the energy has shifted, that we can go into challenging experiences, because we're never going to not have challenging experience. Thanks, Thelma. We're not going to not have challenging experiences. That is the whole point of being alive, right? Because in spirit form, there are no challenges. You're just wonderful and everything is great, right? There is no gravity. There is no pants we need to fit into. There are no challenges. It's literally light and love. And so we do come into this physical form to have contradicting experiences so that our soul can grow from, right? And so we're always going to have struggles, and we're always going to have challenges in this life. It does feel like the energy around it, thank you, Kelly, the energy around these challenges and these experiences have shifted. which I am so grateful and thankful for. And it just very much validates the message that Spirit has been bringing forward, these first 4 months of 2025, which is it's getting lighter. We're getting there. Keep going. Having this sense of slowing down, being more intentional, right? Being more intentional of what am I doing with my time? Where am I going with it? What do I want? Getting back to clarity, and I think that it's important for everybody to know that everyone does struggle with that. Right. And so some people, and I know our egos love to tell us these stories, right? Where that person has it all together. That person doesn't have struggles. That person is successful, right? And or they handle it so well. They don't have the worries and concerns that I do or whatever. We love to compare. The truth of the matter is everybody does, right? Everybody needs a reminder. I had a lovely wise friend give me a little reminder that just put things in perspective this month, where in preparation and coming into the month of April, knowing that there was so much on my plate, I decided not to take on private sessions. And of course, there's always pushback, right? Especially when people can hide behind keyboards. There's always pushback of any decision anybody makes, and that is fine. But she so kindly reminded me that years ago, I literally manifested this job so that I could be the mom that I wanted to be, right? And I thought, that's right. I did. Right? Because you don't want to upset anybody, and I understand that. But there was like that gentle reminder, and it kind of just goes, because that's what matters. You know what I mean? That's what matters, me being able to show up the best that I can for my children. And it was just such this gentle reminder. And why I'm sharing that with you is that I feel like we as a whole need to get back to the basics. Like, what matters to you? Right? And so that has really been coming up a lot within this year, within being more intentional. There's also this wonderful, I got so many little tidbits lately that has just been playing on autopilot, on replay in my mind, where it says, oh, I might still have it on my phone actually. Yes, it was just one of these little posters that went around. It says, moving slowly with intention beats moving quickly without purpose. Right? Oh, I literally just got chills down my spine again. I'll repeat that. Moving slowly with intention beats moving quickly without purpose. And I feel like when we are moving quickly, which has been a lot of last year, right? A lot of 2024 energy. That's why coming into the turn of this year, it's just been so repetitive of get clear. What do you want? What actually matters? What are you spending your time on? What are you spending your money on? Right? And so like all these fillers, all these influenced products aren't, we don't really need that. We can do it ourselves, or we don't need, commercialism to tell us what we need. And there's just like this clarity that comes in, right? And so you probably have been noticing that as well. And I think that what really matters to you is so individual. And we live in such a noisy world where everybody tells us what we should be doing and how we should be living our life and how we should be parenting or working or showing up or taking off or whatever it is. Somebody has something to say about everything. It does kind of get a little murky on what is it that you want, right? And being unapologetic about that. There's also a shift that's coming in as well that we have been living, where what we want has changed, right? And so over the past couple of years, or say the last 10 years, you may feel like this is what's important and this is how it needs to be and this is how I need to show up and I don't have all this and whatever it is. Now that we're going into this reflection, you may realize that 6 things on that list of 10 you don't even care about anymore, right? Another clip that plays in my head is, if it doesn't matter in 5 years, it doesn't matter, right? That's a good one. And then the other one that I heard recently that has been living rent free in my brain is worrying is just praying for what you don't want. Chills on that, right? Worrying is just praying for what you don't want. And so that really kind of is such a perfect description, because we all know that worrying is habitual and it may get us some dopamine and it may feel like we're being productive, but it's also the opposite of like trusting and having faith and praying, right? And we know that the power of prayer is powerful. And so when you think of worrying as, right, Isabel? I know. As praying for what you don't want, you're like, dang, I'm not going to be doing that anymore, right? Because that's exactly what it is. Because why? Because the law of attraction, which is a universal law that is always in motion, whether you're using it or not, says that what you put your time and attention on is what comes to you. Okay. And so whatever you're putting your attention on, if you're putting your attention on everything not working out, then situations, experiences that aren't going to be interpreted as working out is what the outcome is going to be. So it quite literally is praying for what you don't want. And that does not make sense. Now, does it? Why would we do that? Why would we do that? Anyways, that is what I have been absorbing the last couple of weeks. And I just feel like it's just, yeah. I also feel like shift into creativity. I don't know if you guys have felt that. Maybe it's the sunshine, but this kind of, I don't even want to say, yeah, maybe standstill energy, but there's also this type of feeling of like creativity just has not been circulating. It just has not been flowing. And I feel like within the last week, that has really kicked up for myself and for people in my inner circle. So I'm really interested to see, drop that below here, if you feel like your creativity is kicking up. Creativity isn't always like artistic abilities. It could be creating a better version of ourselves, changing our rooms around, wanting to paint the walls. Maybe we're creating a better feeling experience, or we are literally creating, maybe we're wanting to plant a garden, or maybe we want to start our own podcast, or whatever that means to you. There does seem to be some flow coming in that energetic stream. So absolutely love that for all of us. All right, let's get into this weekly guidance. This is for today, the 21st through to Sunday, the 27th. Let's get into it. There's the Sun card. Love this card. This card always feels so, I mean, it's a high success card and a high joy card, but it's very grounding, which I absolutely love, right? And so it says a time of great joy and success, brilliant epiphanies that lead to magical opportunities, plans that work out perfectly, gratitude to the divine. And this is something that is just giving this pep in your step, right? It's giving you the go ahead to keep going. Okay. Does that mean we're sprinting forward? No. Remember, nothing in 2025 is coming in as fast as we want it to. And I feel like that is a-okay. You know, things moving quickly and things being impulsive it has been pretty consistent since the pandemic. Let's be real. We had 5 years of every time you turn around something. So I'm okay with that. But what I love about this is that we are in a success season. There is the safety and the security that comes around it. Okay. In that there is this feeling of be the squirrel, gather the information. We don't need to make a quick shift, and there isn't the need to, jump in with both feet right away. There is the need. What is important is trusting in the path. Even like today's card on Monday, the 21st. Energy, we're kind of up and down day to day, even morning to like today. Right now I'm feeling the best that I have all day, right? And so day to day, maybe even morning to evening, there's a shift, right? And so things are still a little bit unsteady, but doesn't mean that we're unstable. It feels like that because we feel inconsistent. We're still just getting through the kind of lumps and bumps. We also know that the ego loves to kick up when we're about to make a major shift or change, right? Because we can intuitively feel this coming in. And it almost feels like I can taste your blessing. I can taste your answer prayer right now. And what does the ego love to do? Sprinkle a little imposter syndrome in there, a little you're not worthy vibes coming in, right? Doesn't mean that it's real, doesn't mean that that's true. But that's where some inconsistencies can be. So some days we can be like, yeah, on path, everything's going to be fine. Everybody I love is safe. Everything is good. Next day, it could be like we're free falling or we're stuck. Another tidbit that I have picked up over the last week, because I was consuming a lot. Being in the hospital for 4 days and Becky napping a lot, there was a lot of consumption. There was and I love this. And when I heard this, I thought, geez, I never thought of that. I was close to thinking of this because if you have taken any of my classes, especially the Empowerment Project, we talk about the ego. I also said how I like to envision my ego as a dog. And I'll be like, listen, you go over in the corner right now and have your treat. Like, I don't need you here right now. Right. And that was something that was kind of a trick that I would do to kind of separate myself out, especially when I was in the throes of my imposter syndrome. I saw this TikTok where she said one of the best advice, weird advice, but one of the best pieces of advice that she had received was name your brain. Name your brain. So that when your brain is telling you all this bullshit and telling you that you're not good enough or that you're never going to achieve your dreams, you can be like, listen, Karen, listen, Linda, sorry guys, name her whatever you want. Listen, Frank, I'm not going to listen to you. You're telling me lies. And I thought, isn't that just brilliant? Isn't that brilliant? Because it immediately separates you. One of the other tricks that I teach in my intuitive classes is if you're reading for yourself is very difficult. And so read for your middle name. It gives you a little bit of space when you're setting your intentions, when you're addressing the messages. If you call yourself by your middle name, it will give you enough separation that you're not stepping back into self and not into spirit. And so it's kind of like was all around my experiences. And when I heard this, I was like, Linda, I know. We love you, Linda McDonald. I'm not going to name my ego Linda. But it's something that I thought that is literally brilliant. And I know it's going to work because the other little tips and tricks that I have used works. This is something that you can do on a daily. You could just be going to work and just being like, listen, nope. That's a lie. I'm not listening to this because we all have someone that we do, right? There's all that family member where we're like, it's just coming out of their mouth. So it is something that I think is going to be so helpful. Doug, that's a good one. So helpful for you to kind of have that separation and be like, that's a Doug thought. That's not a Colleen thought, right? And it will just help you kind of be able to recognize self, soul, and ego. Anyways, like I said, so many good tidbits. And this is what I think too is with this like creative flow that we're in, we're like ready to hear it again. Right? Even, a couple of years ago, there was a lot of like classes and there was a lot of things kind of going on and doing well. And then it kind of got quiet because nobody had the capacity, right? We don't have the capacity. We're so busy surviving. We don't have the capacity to expand and to intentionally consume more knowledge. Now we are into that. You're going to see more of that in the second half of this year. And I am so here for it. I am so here for it. Relationships are still a little up and down. There's also the purging of people. And so there is this feeling of like, relationships dissolving, silence coming in within difficult connections. And this honestly feels more like I'm just it's coming in very matter of fact, right? And so if you're going through a breakup, if you're going through a quiet time with some challenging inner circle people, you are not alone. Okay. That does seem to be, it does kind of see how we already addressed like this kind of up and down energy that we're in. They just kind of were like, we're shaking out what needs to fall away, right? And it's almost like the example they gave me is one of those like what's it called? It's like beach pans, or you go and you sift through the sand, and then the diamonds in the middle and everything is on top, the rocks and the crystals. That's kind of what they're showing me. We got to shake out what's not for our highest good, and then we have the blessings. And so keep this in mind, because of course, when any time there's estrangement or there's breakups or divorces, or departures, it's very difficult, and we often question the timing. This does feel like the timing is very intentional. So if this is your experience, it may bring in some peace for you to have validated that this is indeed the right time for this to be happening. Okay. We also have the Empress card coming in, and this is you stepping into your creativity, stepping into your intuition. Like I said, we're kind of dusting ourselves off. We're having more energy and more willingness to hit that to-do list, to get things done. This kind of pause that we have been is lifted. We are not scrambling forward. We are moving with intention. Remember, slowly with intention is better than quickly without purpose. And so we are moving forward, but it's exciting. There's excitement connected to this, right? So it's time to take action. You are quite literally creating your dreams, whatever that looks like for you. They say plan carefully before taking action, but then get going. And I think that's so validating. Listen to your intuition, wait for perfect timing, do the legwork, and then make the decision. If decisions are coming down in the forefront, we're still wanting to give ourselves processing time, right? Leave that with me and I'll get back to you on the weekend, or leave that with me and I'll let you know first thing in the morning. Let yourself at least sleep on it, okay? Because we are wanting to really sit and be more intentional with what we're choosing to do with our time, energy, emotions, and money, okay? The good that you do comes back to you. There is an unexpected abundance or blessing coming in. This is bringing in balance, and this is really kind of striking the chord of inner child. So this may not be monetary, this may not be of high value, but it is sentimental, and it's so freaking healing. It just kind of hits, because I can feel it hitting in the heart chakra and immediately bringing tears down. And often that's when something is said or done or gifted where we feel seen, valued, and appreciated. That can be a simple "I miss you" phone call. That could be a gift. That can be a new opportunity, a promotion, whatever that is, right? It's the sensation of validating that you're worthy, validating that you're of value. And it is quite the reflection. And what's so beautiful about this is that it is coming from the universe. So for the majority of you, this will be a simplistic act, but with major meaning, right? With deep meaning, because it is meant to be reflected to you this week. And so what I would absolutely love is, when this happens for you, come back and comment on the video. Let us know what your blessing was, because I bet you for the majority of us, it is going to be kind of that quiet but meaningful. Just like when somebody says something in a certain way, or you may be just quietly struggling with an insecurity, and then all of a sudden a stranger compliments you on that exact thing. Like, tell me that that's not divine intervention, right? And I think that is so, it just holds such value, right? It is so beautiful and it is so meaningful. So I'm really happy to see that coming in. And you know what else I love is that you recognize it in the moment. Where this act may, if this happened last year when we were more squirrely and frantic and scarcity mindset and kind of going from A to B to C to D, we may not have been in a place to be able to absorb it and appreciate it for what it was. Oh, I love that, Paula. And so that's also reflecting where you're at, how far you've come, the work that you've done, and that the changes that you have made and the boundaries that you put in for yourself are working. You're reaping the benefits. And I absolutely love that. I absolutely love that. Looks like we're in for a really good week. It's still a little chugging forward, right? It's just a little like we're chugging along. We still need our patience. This is still, a process. And so be gentle with yourself. If you have noticed, I did reshare. I shared last fall. I did reshare, commenting on small communities. I am now in a position this year that Becky's surgery is behind us, that I am ready to get things on that calendar. So if you want me to come to a community near you to do a Messages from Spirit event, you can go to that page. You can also go to my website at angelamaclellan.com. It's pinned at the top of this Facebook page, where you can submit your submission of what community. And again, any recommendations, you know your area better than I do. So is there a certain hall, a certain event room that you could recommend that then we can then look into in Colorado, etc. But we are looking forward to getting back out, doing some Messages from Spirit events. They are so magical. I absolutely love that. And again, really looking forward chugging. I know it's still April. And I'm not wishing May away, but I'm really loving the feeling of getting closer to that 6-month mark of 2025, because things are just increasingly getting lighter and brighter, and we all deserve that. We all deserve that. So I hope that you have a wonderful week. Don't forget, I'll be back here next Monday for your weekly guidance. See ya.